This video's only purpose is to help you ask the question and then ultimately answer it. Should you advertise your landscaping business this spring? That's the only thing that we're going to be covering today, right? Now, with that being said, to really understand if advertising makes sense from a mathematical standpoint for your business growth, we first have to go with what is the most profitable service that you offer. Because let's be honest, anything under 30% profit, I'm talking full profit, includes this excludes everything. So we're talking, let's say, example, right? 100% of revenue that comes in. Let's, for easy math, say that is $100, right? We want to make sure this excludes labor, material, any dumping fees, right? Marketing, commissions. Um, We want this to exclude, frankly, everything besides profit, right? You can even throw in taxes in here, right? We really only want to focus on what equals 30% profit. Anything under that, advertising is super difficult. And if you haven't really thought about, is this actually 30% or not? The simple question is, look at the LTV. So this is the lifetime um, value of that customer, right? So if you do, for instance, installation, right, usually you have one project. If you have maintenance, right, let's say you mow, for instance, right, usually, you can calculate how often you do it. Most do like 30 cuts a year. So let's just say they do 30 cuts, right? So what you want to do here, let's say whatever this project is, for instance, let's say it is 10K. That's going to be your lifetime value. This one, maybe it's easy math, right? Let's just say $50, right? So 50 times that is 1,500, right? So these are the numbers that you want. So are you making at least 3K profit from this? Are you making at least, now we're testing my math. What is it? So 4,500, 5,500? No, yeah, 40. We're gonna bust out the math, the calculator to do this math because I want to make sure that this is actually interesting and valuable, right? So that is 450. So close. So is it at least 3K profitable? Is it at least 450 profit? If not, you should probably not think about advertising, frankly speaking, online. Now, what platforms make sense? The cool thing is there's only so many platforms, right? There's digital and what's commonly talked about as traditional, right? If it's digital, the only places that you can go is third parties like Angie's and so on. There's Google, Meta, Nextdoor. There's a couple other micro ones, but those are the main ones. Traditional, yard, signs, flyers, local media, right? For me, I like digital. I'm a digital first guy because I can track and I can iterate. I don't have the most experience with traditional, so I stay away from it. So, yeah, there you go. What is the follow-up process? Once you get a lead in, leads are great, but on average, you need to talk to that lead about 7 to 13 times to convert them into an estimate. With that being said, you also need to know what is the overall, besides process numbers. So if I get 10 leads for landscaping, I want to book at least 4 to 5 into qualified estimates. Okay. Out of those, usually I want to close 1 to 2. That's my high level math, right? For mowing, a little higher. For larger, like $200,000 projects, usually lower. Cool. And we kind of talked about it here, but does the math, right? So for instance, let's do a install example here, right? let's say that our LTV from the project is 10K. Let's say the profit equals 3K. Let's say that profit before ads is 4K, right? So we want to see if this makes sense. So typical math I do, let me just steal this one on like what my lead cost is going to be. Usually marketing equals 10% of ad of project size. Okay. So with that being said, we can only spend $1,000 to get this project because then we still need 3K in profit, right? So with that being said, if we have 10 leads, divide that 5,000, right? So our lead cost can be no more than $100. Depending on what you're looking for, typically leads for hardscape are going to be higher, so about 60, landscape 25. Then xeriscape, the numbers are all over the place, but we can't spend more than $100, right, to get that lead. That means our estimate costs, right, if we're looking for 4 to 5, should be no more than, so let's say we have 4, about 250. Is that right? 10 leads, 4 leads. Yeah, 4 estimates. Can be no more than 250. And then our close rate has to be at least, from those 4, 25% to get one sale. So this is the math we use to see if advertising makes sense, right? So question, should you be advertising? Well, let's figure out what's your most profitable service, right? We did an example for the installation. Mowing is a different one, right? So let's just say we have something at 30%, right? And we want to make sure that we actually do have 30% profit. Calculate what the LTV is. In this case, it was 10K or 1,500. What platforms make sense? Again, I'm digital, so for this, we're focusing on digital because it's a lot easier to track. Google tends to be good in smaller cities. Less competition. Meta, more larger areas. And if you want, like, this isn't a hard or fast rule by any chance, but under 50K people, over 200K people in your area, right? Not a specific zip code or not. So, cool. Leads. What is the follow-up process? Again, what do you have? Leads. Typically, you need to work them 7 to 13 times to get an estimate. These are your overall numbers. Retexting, calling, emailing. You have to have that in place or have someone that can help you. Like with us, when we advertise for our clients, we usually do the calling and texting on their behalf. It doesn't math out. Ultimately, that's the only question. So from that, you can answer the question yes or no. If you have any questions, send me an email, nico@boundlessmedia.com. And if not, here is the overview on if you should be advertising.